Do you remember growing up as a kid and adults in your life trying to force you to eat cottage cheese? Yeah, I do. And it was disgusting. The texture, the taste, I hated cottage cheese. It's just not one of those things that I ever had an idea that I would start eating in my life. However, they have made the biggest comeback in 2023, 2024, now moving into 2025. And watching the rise of cottage cheese, I think we can actually learn a lot from relative to how we build our CAS firms. So today, we're going to break down how cottage cheese has risen to become a billion-dollar industry. What does this look like as a roadmap for CAS firms to start revitalizing and changing your services and how you approach the market? So today we're going to talk about how do you modernize your brand, capture younger audiences, and innovate like the dairy aisle's unexpected star. So the cottage cheese comeback story really starts at 2022, 2023, where you started to see companies enter into the space where historically you just walked into a store and you just kind of saw a stale thing of cottage cheese sitting there. Well, you started to see brands like Good Culture hit the scene and start to change how the market perceived the product. In 2023, sales in the category rose by 16%, followed by another 17% growth in 2024. And over the past 5 years, you've seen about 50% growth of cottage cheese in the last 5 years. A lot of this is because of social media. It's because of TikTok, health trends. The hashtag cottage cheese has over 250 million views, and there are recipes that have gone viral on TikTok. So there was this reinvention and targeted marketing that transformed what was mostly overlooked into a major success. So we look at the rebrand that occurred. When we look at what Good Culture has done, their sales surged 87%, reaching 104 million, with unit sales increasing by 57%, over 35 million units sold. What's wild to me about that is they've taken this outdated, really kind of hated product by the majority of the culture and turned it into something that they've marketed in a way that relates to people. They've refreshed the brand to align with modern design, modern habits, and modern society. So as a firm, when you think about refreshing your brand, how do you want that to align to the technology you're using? How do you want that to align to the clients that you serve? How can you recommunicate or communicate in a new way that allows you to reach new segments of your market? When you're highlighting your unique strengths, for cottage cheese, high protein content, healthy fats, for you, it might be like a high degree of advisory services in cash flow, or maybe it's a specific technology that you use. Just like cottage cheese, they leverage their high protein content. You need to find that thing that makes it worth leveraging for your brand. What is that unique strength that you offer? And if you can lean into that, you may also be able to break into a new segment of the market. The second lesson that I took out of this whole rise of cottage cheese is just knowing your audience. So Gen Z and millennials really paved the way for this rise of cottage cheese, especially on TikTok, which is wild. But they noted that Gen Z was very health conscious. They've embraced the versatility of the food, from incorporating it into sweet smoothies, into savory dishes. So for CAS firms, I think there's a really big importance on targeting younger decision makers who value innovation, who value transparency, and offer a clear ROI to them as they build their companies. You can leverage platforms like LinkedIn and Instagram and YouTube to be able to humanize some of your services and demonstrate that practical impact that you can have on their outcomes. When you really get to know your audience and what direction they're going and what's important to the younger generations as leaders, you can start to market in a way that really speaks to them. It wasn't just about the rebrand, though. There was significant innovation in the product itself. So Good Culture, as an example, they really started to use new flavors, trendy packaging, versatile applications like incorporating fruit in the bottom of a single serve dish or maybe a smoothie bowl. The industry saw a 15.9% increase in sales in 2023, but that was largely driven by this new category of options that came into this space. As a CAS firm, you need to really add value to your core offerings by integrating things like maybe it's real-time data, maybe it's advanced analytics, maybe it's talking about how you use AI to create efficiencies for your clients. Maybe it's process documentation. Maybe it's as simple as incorporating spend management. How can you add value on top of what you're doing today and kind of reinvent what you're doing? You could also look at considering niche services that are really, really tailored to your audience, like financial forecasting for manufacturing companies that could really do well in a specific demographic. So when we think about refreshing our image, targeting this next generation of emerging leaders, and innovation in your services, there are so many tools you can use to identify industry trends, to research how Gen Z and millennial leadership are making decisions. What are the things that are influencing them in their decision making? And then looking at your brand to find other examples in market that you believe are doing it well, and just start to take tidbits from them and put your own flair on it, put your own spin on it. I think there's a lot that we can learn from cottage cheese. When you look around you, there's so many examples of brands and industries and products that are doing such interesting things that we can learn so much from. So as a CAS professional, as an accounting professional, I want to see this change occur in our industry for our future, for the next generation that's coming behind us. I hope that that's helpful. Take a look at some of the cottage cheese data. It is wild. But I hope you can incorporate some of this new approach that Good Culture has taken and bake it into your firm in 2025. I hope that's helpful. Till next time.